Hello my friends and welcome. Let's go for the front lines update, this time non-standard to Luhansk region. Here you can see that Russia created some sort of the offensive operation. To understand the scale of the Russian offensive, let's go to the timeline to 1 week ago. It was 17th of July. Nothing extraordinary was happening at this point by that time. However, Russia accumulated lots of the forces and you can see they start to propel across the front lines. This time they are taking just some sort of the free ground without any villages, but there are some important hills, and by each day they moved more and more. As you can see, they were able to capture the elevation, and today it was confirmed that they've took all of this part of the land in that area. They even were able to cross the river over here. The closest village for them to take is Novaya over here, and as you can see, the battle continued on the territory of that village. It's very small, there are just few of the houses over there, but by capturing this part of the area, Russia may have the access towards the road that leads to the other villages in this area. Their main strategic goal is to move to this water reservoir, the big river in this area, and their main goal is to capture Kupiansk once again, that was liberated by Ukrainian forces long time ago. Speaking about the bigger scale, it's all of that territory including Liman on the south and Kupiansk on the north. Russia is moving towards this side, but also they are south towards Liman, and there are some unsuccessful attempts from them to move towards Kupiansk. All of those attacks were repelled by Ukrainian defense in this area, but here unfortunately Ukrainian army had to retreat because Russia concentrated lots of the artillery systems and artillery shells in this direction. It looks like their political goal is to present the wins for their society, to show their victories in this area. Even though it's not a very strategic place, they should take more about the south because there Ukraine is taking initiative and may break through the Russian main defense lines. However, Russia concentrated 100,000 soldiers in this particular area. As for the Ukrainian forces, we have to throw some of the reinforcements to that area to stop the Russian offensive in this particular place. Unfortunately, for a very long time, we may admit that Russia took the ground, and quite a lot of it. About the situation in Bakhmut, no changes for today. Fight continues. There are some of the fighting videos published from this area and also from the south that I will partially show you in this video. Not all of them because of this platform restrictions, so if you want to get the full access for the videos, please join my Telegram group. It's for free. I share the general news about Ukraine over there, plus some of the videos that I cannot publish on this platform. On the south, my friends, there's also no movement from the Ukrainian side. However, Ukraine concentrated quite a lot of forces in this region, so I think Pryutne is the next step for Ukrainian army. Unfortunately, here we have the obstacle, the natural one, the river, so we have to cross it or assault from this direction, which could be tricky because there are lots of the forest lines that Russia may use as their defense lines. So going through the river could be the better idea. Just to remind you, President Zelensky said that soon we're gonna break the situation on the south in favor of Ukraine, and counterattack will get more RPM. The Guardian article says that the counteroffensive of Ukraine may stall, but at the same article, at the very end, the expert who writes it says that Ukraine may break the initiative of the front line. So what this stuff is about? It seems like many of the media resources just share the information for sure to attract more viewers to their pages. So I'm always quite skeptical about the mainstream media or general media. That's why the majority of the information I got from the independent resources or from the first-hand resources. But we also have the statements from Ukrainian officials which are hard to trust in. For example, the Ukrainian Defense Minister Reznikov today said that the war will be over till the summer next year. I do not believe in that. We're just going to receive the new types of the weaponry at the beginning of the next year, and the plans for the Ukrainian military support extend beyond 2024. So this forecast from Reznikov is very unlikely, but there could be negotiations with Russia and Ukraine, some sort of the temporary peace, but Ukrainians will never support that. That's why I expect that the war may continue even for years, unfortunately. We have the satellite image from the yesterday's attack on the Russian airfield in Crimea. The airfield name is Oktyabrskoye. The airfield is located in a central part of Crimea, so it was before the attack and it was after. This area is the ammunition warehouse, and you can see that some of the shells from that ammunition exploded and went close to the runway. So quite a successful job done by the Storm Shadow cruise missile. Here is just for you to understand the location of the airfield. Ukraine has eliminated one more very important tool for the Russian army. This is the interference and radio surveillance system Zoopark 1M that was targeted by Ukrainian drone and went totally kaput. Plus, Ukraine targeted the heavy Russian artillery system Pion. Recently, Russia started to lose lots of those systems. Unfortunately, the rest of the combat images I cannot show you in this video. For that, please check out my Telegram channel. The last night was terrible for Odessa. Russia again launched their attack on the city, including one of the main churches in the central part of the city. You can see the roof is severely damaged. The shell went inside the church, also bringing the devastation to this construction. This is how it looks from the side, so you can see the building is severely damaged. There was the huge fire inside, and this is the local street nearby to that church. But this morning local citizens started to clean the streets from the debris. Ukrainians continue to show their unbreakable spirit even under the Russian shells. The Institute of the War Researchers says that Ukraine started to use more long-range artillery systems to target the Russian supply lines. Yes, we did it before, but this scale is something new for this war. Because of the constant attacks on the roads and on the Russian supplies, Russia is unable to change their forces on the front lines. Their soldiers are located there for several months with no change, so imagine being at the same trench for that long time. Well, I mean, they have the small changes from first line to second and third, but in general their forces are on the front lines for that long time. This strategy of Ukraine will weaken the Russian defense and finally will be ready for the major jump, trying to cut through the Russian defense, and I expect it to be soon. Plus, the Russian army command suffers a lot because of the internal repressions in the Russian Federation. Have you heard about General Surovikin? I personally haven't seen him in the media since the failed military attempted coup. According to the British intelligence, we may speak about more than 15 high-ranked Russian officers and generals who were arrested, dismissed or suspended. As for the war criminal Gurkin, it was confirmed that he was moved to Lefortovo prison in Moscow. I personally don't think that he will stay in this world for a very long time. He just knows too much because he was the leading Russian commander in 2014 when Russia organized the self-proclaimed republics in Ukraine. To other news, Iran constructed one more drone. Its name is Shahid 149 Gaza. This is not a kamikaze drone, it is the attack one like Bayraktar, but it is the bigger version. From what I can see, it has the turboprop engine on the back. Honestly, I don't think that Iran alone may produce those drones. They obviously have the Western-made parts. How do they get those? Well, we understand not by the direct shipping. However, it looks like they have some of the mediator countries, for example, China. China doesn't hesitate to supply electronics to Russia, which Russia uses for their weaponry. Also, Maldives, the small island country, also was found to supply the electronics to the Russian Federation, and they used the civilian channel for that, the airfield airplanes. The Russian tourists fly to Maldives, to Malé airport regularly, and Russia uses the airfield Boeing 777 for that. That huge airplane has plenty of space in its cargo hold, so Russia just loads electronic equipment together with the passenger baggage and they fly directly to Moscow with the special loads. The United States already started the investigation of those cases and probably they may apply the sanctions on Maldives. Officially, Anthony Blinken said that Ukraine will obtain the F-16 fighter jets. Before we were speaking about the pilot training, but now we understand that we'll have those airplanes for sure. Unfortunately, this process is not very fast. First of all, we need to build the infrastructure to handle those airplanes, to provide maintenance and other stuff. At the same time, our pilots will go on the pilot training, and only after that, then everything is ready, we're gonna obtain those airplanes. I think it's a nice choice for Ukrainian Air Force because those airplanes are very versatile. The interesting video from the Russian resource, they continue to use the Lancet drones, and I would say it's the most effective weaponry that they have. This time the Lancet drone attacked the Bradley armored vehicle. It went into the side of this machine, but Bradley continued to move. Yes, there was the smoke coming from the aft part, but it's not a significant damage for that vehicle, and it continued to run. You can see the turret even rotated. Our guys were searching for the enemy, but it wasn't the RPG as they probably thought. It was the Lancet Russian drone. By the way, the main Russian designer of those drones has the property in the European Union, and sometimes his family spent nice holidays in the European Union. One more Lancet drone hit the Leopard 2 tank. I think it's the old video. This convoy looks like the one that was ambushed around 2 months ago. So this is the tank, and drone went into the forward part of it. So you may see that this is the drone, and basically it missed and went just into the forward part. The tank sustained damages, probably also to caterpillars, but they were not critical for the crew. Crew is alive. So you may find everything on my Telegram channel, my friends. Unfortunately, the other Leopard 2A6 sustained the damages to the aft part where the shells are being stored. So this is the Lancet drone, and this video is just before the impact. The tank has the safety wall between the crew and the ammunition compartment. Unfortunately, I think that it is the new video, my friends, and I saw the report of the Oryx resource that we lost Leopard 2A6 recently. My friends, as you can see, sometimes we have not so good news, but what can I do? It's the war. I would like our side to always win, and someday it will happen. I'm sure that we're gonna liberate all of the Ukrainian territory and we're gonna free our people. Now don't forget to press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there will be some of the links in the video description just below. Special thanks for my Patreon supporters and for the sponsors of my channel. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.